Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Nora Novak, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Magnolia, and I'll be your host for today. We'll take a moment as a few more people join, thanks to the ones that are already here. You can say hi in the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. I see folks joining from London, Spain, Germany, and the US. Hi, everyone. So today's webinar is called Future-Proofing Your Platform, a developer's tour into Magnolia 6.4. It will be all about our newest Magnolia 6.4 release, making content workflows faster, smarter, and more efficient with powerful new features for developers. We're even running our own digital experience on 6.4 and are ready to share our insights. There will also be a demo and a Q&A at the end. Before we kick off, a few housekeeping notes. This webinar is recorded. We'll share the recording in the next days. Check the doc tabs on your right for the release blog, release notes, and upgrade guide when you're ready to learn more. If you have questions throughout the webinar, drop them in the Q&A panel. We'll answer as many as we can live at the end and follow up on the ones that we miss. And now I'd like to welcome today's speaker, Matt, to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Nora, thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction. So it's really nice to meet you all today. My name is Matt, a product manager in Magnolia, and I'm going to be your host today to today's webinar, Future-Proofing Your Platform, a developer's tour of Magnolia 6.4. So buckle in, we are going to share quite some insights around what the developer needs to know about the latest 6.4 upgrade of Magnolia. Who we are going to have on the call today. So there's going to be me, your host, and I'm going to be joined in the course of the webinar by two of my colleagues. So Alexander Timmermans is going to join us to talk a little bit more about the new AI features in 6.4. And then towards the end of the webinar, we'll also have Max Nguyen joining us from Vietnam, actually very late hours there, to show us a little bit more about how you can actually upgrade from 6.2 or 6.3 all the way to 6.4. So back in, quite a lot of stuff to jump in. So let's go into it. So first of all, why Magnolia 6.4? Magnolia 6.4 is one of our biggest and most impactful releases that we had yet in Magnolia. It's not only an update, it's really a strategic evolution of our platform designed for the future. Why? You will see around these 4 topics that we have as part of Magnolia 6.4. First of all, usability and accessibility. 6.4 is an accessibility release. So we will be meeting modern standards and improving the user experience, also make it more inclusive, more accessible, etc. Second stream of topics is going to be around AI capabilities. So how AI can actually do plenty of the work for you in Magnolia automatically. And third is going to be around performance at scale. Everybody likes stuff to go faster. So we introduced with 6.4 a couple of native performance improvements. And at the same time, we are providing you tools to handle really large Magnolia projects. And last but not least, also future-proofing. That means we also updated our core technology to make sure that that your projects are performant, secure, stable, and ensuring long-term compatibility. So in these 4 streams, we are going to jump into plenty of features today. So in the first one, there's going to be forms. We are going to talk about accessible forms. Then we talk very briefly about the design system, global search, and page editor apps. In the second stream, in AI, we have really nice goodies ready for you. And on the third one, performance scale, we'll talk about them external binaries, speed publication, the new package manager, and on technology upgrades, we'll talk a little bit about how we updated Magnolia Core to use Jakarta 10 EE+, and also how you can actually in the end upgrade from your current version of Magnolia all the way to 6.4. Excellent. So as you can see, quite a lot of topics to jump in. Let's dive in. So the first one, usability and accessibility. Usability and accessibility gets into Magnolia through a whole new UI, which is really our commitment to improve Magnolia user experience and accessibility for both content creators and also for developers. The way new UI is going to be surfacing in 6.4 once you upgrade is in several ways, actually. We call them islands of the new UI. And it includes sometimes just a small feature, like not a small feature, but just sometimes just one single feature, like global search or dependency workflow, or for example, accessible forms. And in other cases, it's going to be a whole new app. It's going to be just like a full new experience in one separate app, like in the case of package manager itself. So what do you as developers need to know about this new UI and all these aspects of the new UI? Let's jump into the first topic, which is accessible forms. The way we like to call accessible forms is as well, it's the possibility to edit beautifully. And just so you know how the new accessible UI forms look like, we have a small demo ready for you so that you can see how they compare to the original Vaadin forms and what kind of benefits they bring along on the site.
All right, let me show you the difference between a Vaadin form and the new accessible forms. I'm also going to use the opportunity to show you how you can navigate the interface in Magnolia using keyboard. So right now I press tab, and you can see the focus by pressing tab move around the interface, so you exactly know where the focus currently is. I can obviously tab myself down all the way to the Tours app, which I'm going to open with an enter. Now here on this view, once again, I can see the focus where it currently stands and can use my keyboard to open this tree of tours. And once again, using my arrow keys to navigate all the way down to Bellies for Families. And this is the Vaadin form. You all know how it looks like. Well, it's a perfectly fine form. Maybe a little bit dull, maybe a little bit too squarey, too boxy. And here, close to tour types, there's a bit too much going on, I guess, in the interface. But it's perfectly fine to edit content, and it's okay to navigate. And this now is the new accessible form. So first of all, what you can see is that the focus is on the first field. It's very easy to distinguish where the focus currently is. It is also lighter to the eye, easier to understand what's going on, even in these more complex sections, like tour types. And at the same time, it's inviting, it feels more natural, easier to the eye, etc. Obviously, keyboard navigation works here as well, so I could use the keyboard to navigate here. And now that you see how much cooler the new accessible form is and how much easier it is to use, let me show you how you can update from your Vaadin forms to accessible forms after the 6.4 upgrade.
Awesome. Looks quite cool, right? So now you might be asking the question, okay, looks nice. What do I need to do to upgrade? And the answer is actually that we made the upgrade path very simple for you. That means that you don't actually need to do anything at all. Once you upgrade to Magnolia 6.4, your forms will continue to work either way. Once, if they are actually already compatible, they would show in the new UI. If they are not yet compatible with all the fields available with 6.4, they will simply fall back to Vaadin UI. The main takeaway here is that the forms continue to work either on the new UI or on the Vaadin UI. Cool. So once you start upgrading to new UI forms, once you actually upgrade to Magnolia 6.4, you will see that if your form contains all the supported fields already, it will simply render in the new UI automatically. There's nothing else that you need to do. If there are still some unsupported fields, which would be coming in further releases, or maybe some custom fields and so on, the form will automatically fold back to Vaadin so that the form still works. They will always continue to work whatever happens, be it on new UI or in Vaadin. Some properties in the process might be ignored. For example, like the new forms don't support them anymore, but those are usually cosmetic things that are not present on the new forms. Also, if there is not a supported feature, the form falls back as well, making sure that the form always works. And just to let you know, if you, for example, have a form which is still falling back to Vaadin, to the original UI, you can as well just easily check the definitions app and see what exactly is going on. So it's very easy to debug what exactly is happening here. When it comes to the fields that are already supported, so here's a list on the left of fields that are already covered by accessible forms, and if your form contains only these fields, then it actually updates automatically. And on the right side, you see a short list of the ones that are not yet updated and not yet supported. So in case your form just contains those, the form continues to work only on the old UI. By the way, small note, every time you see on a slide this kind of small Magnolia docs pop up on the side, that means that you can find much more information, much more details in Magnolia docs. And as well, there are some docs links shared here on top, on your right side. So you can also visit the docs tab where you can see release notes of Magnolia 6.4 and many more information on top of what I'm talking about here. One also important thing to mention here is that we are starting with content apps in Magnolia 6.4 with new forms, and we will move to pages in the following releases. So that's it. If you now therefore are updating to the new forms, you can just follow these 3 simple steps. First of all, upgrade to 6.4 and your forms start to render in the new UI automatically. Second, you can review your forms just to make sure that everything works the way that you expected and that the forms look nice. And last but not least, then there is an optional step of fine-tuning. So if, for example, your form doesn't render in the new UI and you still want to render it that way, you can simply go ahead and replace some of those fields that are not yet supported with the ones that are supported, or simply fine-tune the form to make sure that it renders in the new UI. The new forms, they bring plenty of benefits. So the most important one is that it's fully accessible. It's WCAG 2.1 compliant. Second, you can use keyboard navigation, and your editors can as well use, as you have seen in the video, keyboard navigation to navigate through the forms, so it's much easier to use. And last but not least, the same form definitions are actually used for accessible forms as the same ones as were used for the original Vaadin forms. Therefore, there is hardly any need to change anything. Cool. That wraps up the topic of accessible forms. And jumping to the next topic, which is design system, or the way to build beautifully. The new forms and plenty of the features that you are going to see today, they already use a new design system developed by Magnolia, which is a new way to build Magnolia apps. It is really a React component library which you can use. It's HTML first as well, and it can be used to build apps for Magnolia itself. It is based on composition, so it's optimized for flexibility. And we also use this kind of approach with design tokens, making sure that actually functionality and design are separate. And you can also then update the design tokens the way you need to tweak the design system the way you like. Just to let you know, right now the design system is used internally only with Magnolia. We use it to actually build some of the features for 6.4, but at the same time, it is right now in private beta. So in case you have an app that you would like to build with the new design system, it is still a closed pilot to say, but feel free to reach out to us via feedback@magnolia-cms.com and tell us about your use case, and we can see if you could as well use design system to build your app. So there was just a small mention of design system and where we are going to go also in the future with more apps with Magnolia. The next topic then is about global search and about searching beautifully. Global search is a new place where the editors can go to find their content. And just so you see once again how it compares to the original find bar, we have a short presentation ready for you, a short video, which shows exactly how that is going to fly.
But let's take a look at the global search in action. It's also built in the new UI and is fully accessible. You can use Command K to get to the search bar no matter where you are. This new compact dialog compared to the find bar, it focuses your attention and it makes it obvious to the author what you can do. So let's look into the speed here. Like let's just put in a short term so we get a lot of responses. So we have 141 responses for Sue, which is nice. Like the find bar, it's loading in local results that are in your own database, and it's also loading in things from externally connected systems. Maybe we have something from e-commerce. Yeah, we have some e-commerce things coming in. The difference is that before, the system waited until it had all the results before it showed them. And the improvement we've made here is that the fast results get shown right away. So you can already maybe find what you're looking for. And the slower results, like from an external system, for example, come in later and then get added to your response. So you get first all the fast, the ones that you might be able to use, and then eventually you get everything. Actually, let's filter it down a little bit more. Now it's a smaller set of results. Now, and you can see it's actually still loading. So it's looking if those external systems match surf, which they don't. That's the whirlwind tour of the global search. And main takeaway, searching is fast.
Excellent. So that was just a very quick overview of what global search can actually do for you by Topher. By the way, more about that was also mentioned in the yesterday's webinar, focused more on offers. So also there was the extended version of the video played there. So if you are interested in more, just like how, for example, the filtering works in the search and how more features it brings, feel free to check that video out. For us in development, what is important here for developers is to just like understand what the feature actually brings. So the search results from global search, they blend together very nicely, so they federate beautifully. There is also for the offer more control when it comes to filtering and sorting. There is also improved results presentation, so you can see key details about the app, about the name, the status, the icon of the app from which the result is actually coming from, and so on. So it's much better usable. And also the search term is highlighted, making it much easier to understand what you are looking at and how you can find what you are looking for. From configuration options, how you can tweak the search results. So what Topher already mentioned in the video is that you can configure two types of providers. They can be fast or slow. The fast ones, they are just like displayed right away and very quickly in the search results, so that you can probably already find your search result right there. And then the slower ones, still fast ones, but slower ones, they actually federate into the results as the results become available later. So making it for much easier experience, much easier to navigate, and much easier to just fastly find what you are looking for. Also, you can configure supplier order, count of results, and per supplier, and even much more. So there is quite a lot of possibilities to tweak what you are looking at. And at the end, as an impact, what you do is actually you create a beautiful, this kind of global search result experience for your editors. Cool. That's how fast global search delivers new results for editors. The next topic on the line is something that you have been asking for a lot in previously, and with 6.4 we are bringing it in. It's page editor apps, which is expanding on Magnolia's flexibility. Page editor apps is actually nothing else than just the possibility to use a visual editor in any content app that you like. Previously, visual editor, the signature feature of Magnolia, was only tied to Pages app. But now what you can do, you can define any other app and use a page editor there, which makes sense in cases like, for example, when you have a mobile app and you don't want that content to be hanging out there in the Pages tree in your Pages app, but you actually want to create a separate app to manage only that mobile content. Or if you have a kiosk app or a kiosk channel or anything like that, essentially we are building in more flexibility into Magnolia so you can use now visual editor anywhere. The way you configure this is that you create a content type definition, and that provides a workspace. And of course, you add an app and site definition. And there are a few special things about page editor apps as well. So, for example, you need to make sure that there is a node, like the first one, a page, which is at the root of the app itself. And you also need to define a root path. Once you do all that, what you actually get in the end is really an app which allows you to edit the content using the visual editor itself. Excellent. So that's PageRated apps. And now a small bonus, because we had quite a lot of feedback actually yesterday in the offer session around deletion dependencies workflow, or how we call it, deleting with confidence. So it's a very simple feature which actually allows you to see all the links that are linked to a given content. So as you can see here, for example, when I'm trying to delete some content, you see that kind of 84 links on the right side, which shows you how much content actually links to the current item right now. So you can obviously click those and inspect those links to see what content that is, and you also get plenty of more metadata about the content, like is it actually draft content, is it content that is published, etc. So it's quite nice. The way you configure it, you can actually use this in plenty different places. You can, for example, use it in the deletion workflow, but as well you can define a dependencies tab, which is actually a field or like a tab on page properties or anywhere, wherever you like, where you can actually inspect these links in a tab, not needing to obviously delete or anything like that. So you can inspect those properties and links there. So yeah, actually this, we might be thinking like, hey Matt, this looks great. And it's true, yes, definitely. It is content dependencies module, and many of you are probably already familiar with it, but now it looks much better and it's much more usable and it's much easier to use. So if you don't use content dependencies module just yet, maybe the best time is to adopt it right now. Cool. This wraps up the stream of accessibility and usability. The next one on the line is AI capabilities. And for AI capabilities, I have a guest here with me today. So I would like to welcome on stage Alexander Timmermans. Hey, Alex.
Hi, Matt.
And Alex is going to guide you through what Magnolia 64 is bringing in new when it comes to AI features and capabilities. Go ahead, mate.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit through the topic of AI capabilities. So Magnolia AI, probably you have followed us a little bit about how we went into the topic with the AI Accelerator, and of course we are moving steadily forward. Features, usability, extensibility, and especially the topic of extensibility with Magnolia as a composable DXP. That's at the heart of our vision, how we implement it, and of course this new modern interface with 6.4, which we are going to leverage in the features that we are adding. So first, I'm going to dive a little bit back into the backend. I mean, we have developers here. I'm not going to dive too far because, I mean, this topic can go quite deep. The fundament of our implementations are the AI registries, AI models, AI tasks, where you define with what models you want to accomplish a task, and the definition of a task, which can be which actually is quite generic. You implement an AI task, you want to achieve something, and then you can say, I do this with this model, I do it with that model, and all that happens through light development. And yeah, as said, we're not going to do a deep dive here into all the details, but just want to highlight we are continuing there, extending the possibilities that are there, new models you can use. I mean, like something that I want to stress repeatedly is like with this AI registry, AI models, it's not that you build something, like we provide software that works with the models that are out there today. No, with this AI registry, you can get a software, you migrate to 6.4, half a year later, a new model comes out and you can use it. You can just configure it in with the light development into the registry and you have it. And with that, you can combine AI in a composable DXP and unlock the potentials. And what powerful use cases are we shipping? Well, I mean, image recognition, I mean, it's a little bit of a boring thing. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about the boring things in a minute. But this image recognition that already existed, we extended so that they can also use the AI Accelerator. So it works with any model that you configure. So you have the choice of choosing your supplier, you make your deals with your vendors. I mean, and that's also a big topic. I mean, the whole topic of compliance, vendor choice. You work in one industry or the others, you have different rules. You work in a different region, different industry, so different regulations apply. So there is not one solution. And with this registries, yeah, you are in the driver's seat, choosing what directions you go with in the world of AI. So we have image recognition that I mentioned, asset metadata generation, and the boring part. I mean, with AI, you often talk about the light, the shiny features, doing the amazing things. But there is a quote that I like pretty much about somebody saying, look, I don't want AI to do my art. I want AI to do the laundry. So, I mean, really doing the stuff that's it's a lot of effort, it's tedious. And for example, that's like metadata generation, all text generation images. Who wants to go through all the images and put the alt text there? That's something AI can do perfectly, like rapidly with a fraction of cost. And that's what we are after, like a combination of like shiny features, but also like maybe not so shiny features, but still features that deliver a real value. I mean, content translation, you already know our translation, context translation module from the incubators, this extension. Now it's possible to use it with any model that you can configure through the AI Accelerator. We have image generation and editing. I'm going to show a little bit about that a little bit later. Doc to content, you write a piece of content, you have it in Word, you have it in a Google document, you paste it and let it turn into component. And then your use case, I mean, there is a lot of potential. Go and have a look. There are a lot of possibilities available with this registry, with these registries. It's a really a composable framework. So dive in, look, like what are the boring things that AI can do for you? What are the like of course also the shiny things? Let's have a discussion about return of investment, like where can we do something for the fraction of a cost and take over the boring tasks. Now I'd like to move forward to one concrete thing. Image generation, we already had this AI image editor in image generation, Accelerator for a while. Now we leveled it up with this nice shiny UI that you have seen before, with these new components of the design system, where you can create and modify image in a chat-like interface. You see here, you create something, you say, okay, that's not what I want. You say what you want instead. And here I'm turning a cat into a red cat, a black cat. And yeah, I want to stress again, choose your vendor. So you say you have a deal with Google, use the Google models for image generation, or choose anything else what fits your requirements, be it legally, be it from contractually. So, and now I'd like to show you a little demo also of this AI image editor. So I'm going to give you a demo of the image editor. I have here a beautiful snow landscape. I'm going to add a picture of myself. You can see, well, it doesn't really fit into the scenery. I need to modify it. Here you see our new chat interface where you can nicely prompt the AI for the changes you want to do to the image. In this case, I want to keep the pose. I want to put myself into the center of the scenery. Takes a little while to process. Now the prompt is quite short. I hope it will go right. And it went right. Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to select this image. I'm going to remove the background so that I can put into the winter scenery from the Tours app, from the Tours demo here. Need to rescale. Need to look a little bit there at the building on the left side, so that needs to get a little bit smaller still. So that looks pretty well, but now we have two layers, right? Two images, layer objects, and now I'm going to merge them so that we have one image that we can send again to AI for final refinement. Here I want to make sure that the person, myself, are pretty much pretty neatly fits into the snow, into the scenery. So some corrections at the shoes and the feet. You see, yeah, it's like you're talking with the AI. And of course, the more you write, the more precise you are, the better the results are. Sometimes it's a little bit playing. You can also do multiple generation runs. Now let's look at the generated image. Yeah, it looks really nice. We can select that, and you see what has been achieved in just 2 minutes. Now I'm looking forward to really go into the snow. So
thank you so
how
much.
was it?
That was such a nice overview. That was really cool. Like that you can actually chat and bring that right into Magnolia. That's really cool.
Glad you liked it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. Well, then see you later, and thanks for the demo. All right, jumping to the next topic here that we have ready for you guys. I'm going to just share the slides here. It's actually performance at scale. I don't think I can see the slides now, but you can see the slide now. Excellent. Cool. So the next topic we have online is actually performance at scale. Of course, everybody wants to make things to happen faster and better and more performance. So with speed, when we talk about speed, with 6.4, we are bringing more services that make Magnolia faster. And also we make more tools that make large setups, especially performant. So what is important to know for you around those three topics is these three. We are going to jump into DEM external binaries, Swift publication, and package manager. So jumping into the first one right away, DEM external binaries, or how we like to call it. Once again, there is no need for any more trade-offs right now. So DEM external binaries, what does it do? So originally Magnolia was able to store your metadata and your image, your binary, in JSON storage itself. With the new external storage, what is happening is that you can bring out those binaries out to an external system and store them there. This causes much less load on the system, on Magnolia itself, especially when you do image processing, especially when you do resizing of images and all this kind of stuff. On the other hand, it still keeps the metadata about the image in JCR, making sure that all the out-of-the-box features of Magnolia still work with, even if you opt in for external storage. So when it comes to compatibility and what you can configure to actually get this work, with 6.4 launch, we are going to have an out-of-the-box integration with AWS S3, but there is also a guide available so you can actually choose any provider that you like. You can actually host your images on any provider that you like. Also, we are providing guides to externalize your assets or move over from the incubator of hybrid assets in case you use it right now. All those things are provided. You can find all those in the docs, and you can follow the doc links on top right to find it out. What kind of benefits does it bring? So there is excellent authoring experience because still the external DEM blends with the out-of-the-box functionalities of the native DEM application very well. Second, there is improvements to performance. And last but not least, like I mentioned, it's extensible, meaning that if you want to use a different storage, you are very much welcome to follow the guide to get it done. So this improves the speed of processing and using assets. Second one on the line is Swift publication, which increases the speed of publication and lets you launch content faster. With Swift publication, we really deliver a fast, resilient, and reliable publishing mechanism, even for the most complex and demanding DXP setups. So for setups where you have plenty of contents, you get plenty of benefits from Swift publication because what we have done, we externalize versioning, which the JCR out-of-the-box versioning is not the most performant one. So right now, versions with Swift publication, versions are going to be stored in external storage, making the versioning time needed to create a version of a page much, much faster. Second, we also bring in asynchronous publication for the experience of the users, meaning that if you publish something, the interface isn't stuck, but you can actually continue working on your tasks while you wait until that piece of content gets published. And last but not least, for the biggest geeks here, we are decoupling offline and public instances. So right now, with the REST call, we actually it is much more asynchronous as previously with a simple HTTPS call, which indeed forced this kind of Magnolia interface to be frozen, and therefore authors couldn't use the interface anymore. With speed publication, that's asynchronous now. This is just a quick overview of the setup with Swift publication. So you know probably the author and public setup, and the change, the big one that is here, is that the versioning itself is stored in Amazon S3, from which then the public instances, they retrieve the version, so that which is much more performant. One, and second, there is REST-based orchestration on top, meaning that author instance actually instructs publics to retrieve that version from Amazon S3, meaning that, or from the external store, which can be replaced, meaning that all things actually work together nicely and it's much more performant. When I talked about asynchronous publishing, this is how it looks like in the interface, because it's not just about the speed, but it's also about how that speed is perceived. So now if you click publish on a big tree in Magnolia, what happens is that you get this kind of publication in progress tag, meaning that the publication is ongoing and the interface remains responsive until that happens. Obviously, this only applies if you use Swift publication. That's when you get all these asynchronous benefits. Key points around that, it is available as an extension, so it's fully optional. You don't have to actually go and use the publication. It is very suitable for large setups and where actually getting this kind of external storage is not a bottleneck to get in. So it's really fully optional to hop on the Swift publication train. I talked a little bit about speed, about performance, but what do I mean when I say that it's much more performant? So we have performed this test with actually 420 pages, which is roughly 8,000 nodes. And what you see on the right is a chart of how long the publication was taking with the current Magnolia publication, the out-of-the-box publication. And on the right, you can see how it actually works with the publication. So we are talking about 250% increase of speed, which is really amazing. And you can see that the green part is actually the time the publishing took, and the blue one is how long the versioning took. So the versioning on the right side is almost non-existent, and the publishing is much faster. So those are the benefits that we are talking about in large setups that you can get with Swift publication. And now on to the next topic, which is package manager, or being in control of your content. Package manager is a new tool introduced with Magnolia 6.4, which you can use again as an extension, which allows you to define and build your content package. And then what you can do, you can download this package and just upload it to any instance anywhere else. It's just a zip file which you can then upload and extract in the new instance. It is optimized for really large packages, so you can really package a lot of content. And this is very helpful, you know, in many, many cases. I'm listing just a few of them here, but it's really not all of them. So let's imagine you actually have a UAT instance on which you have some content that you want to bring to your production instance. So that's the first case. You go ahead to your UAT, you package the content, you upload on prompt. Second case, if you have an offline offer, for example, in situations when you really don't want any information that is being published to leak, or you have maybe just a very limited set of people who can see that information, again, you can create a completely offline offer instance, update your content, package it, bring it to your prod instance. But also the other way around, the arrow on the right is maybe not that visible, but actually it goes from prod to UAT, test and local. So in case you need to bring some content to test or to develop against from your prod instance to UAT, test and local, it's never been easier than now with Package Manager. You simply go to production, you package that content, and you simply install it on your UAT, local, or test environment. If you want to see it in action, I hope so. For the next one, we are going to show you exactly how the interface looks like and how Package Manager can be used to package content.
All right, let me show you how you can use the new Package Manager to package and transfer content from one instance to a completely different instance in just a few minutes. Awesome. So here I have my Magnolia running Magnolia 6.4. Now I will open the Pages app just to show you what we are going to take over and package. So here I have a travel website with actually quite a lot of content down here. There is stories, there is some about section, there is contact. So there's quite a lot of stuff already here present. So let's go ahead, package the whole travel website and transfer it to completely another instance where it's not yet present. Awesome. To do that, I'm going to use a new app available on 6.4 Magnolia, which is called Package Manager. So let's open Package Manager. And I already have some package here from some previous work. And as you can see, the whole app is built with the new UI, with a new design system. So it's also quite easy to understand what you can actually do in this app. So let's go ahead and create a new package. Here in this form, I can now provide more information about the package. So I'm going to call it just like travel website. And I can provide a description, which is, for example, travel website from UAT. Please install on prod. Excellent. Once done, I can define my package definitions. Package definitions describe how the package should look like and what kind of content it should contain. So as we are going to package some pages, I'm going to choose the website workspace, and the root path is going to be /travel. I can also go more detailed by defining additional filters, which will then further refine the content that is included in the package. They can either be include or exclude filters, and you can use regular expressions to really fine-tune until the lowest detail what you want to have included in a package. I'm not going to do that now, so I'm going to remove them using these kind of small trash icons. Cool. Once I'm happy with my package definitions, I can save the package. And what is going on here right now? So I got this kind of nice success message that the new package has been created, which then disappears automatically. And my package is now in draft status, meaning that the content is not yet in. The definitions are ready, but the content is not yet in. So that what I'll do now, I'll proceed and build the package. There is a small confirmation dialog, which I can simply confirm and proceed with the build. Once I confirm, I get this small notification that it's building, and I can afterwards download the package into my file system. All right, now I logged into a different instance where the travel website is not available. So as I have it downloaded now on my file system, what I'm going to do is simply go ahead, close the Pages app, go to Package Manager, and now upload the package that I previously downloaded. So I'm going to select downloads, choose my package itself, and click upload. I get this kind of nice dialog here, which tells me what is the progress of the upload. And once in place, the package is here. I can again inspect the package to check what is actually inside. And once I'm happy and ready, I can proceed and install the package on the instance. There is this confirmation dialog which lets you choose what kind of install strategy you want to use. But for now, let's use the default replay strategy. And by clicking install, the package starts installing. And once installed, I can close my package manager, go to pages, and find the travel section here, all in draft status, ready to be published. Congratulations, you have just safely transferred quite a lot of content from one instance to another in under 4 minutes.
Awesome. So that was a brief overview of how Package Manager works and how you can transfer content from one instance to another one in a very fast manner, actually. So that wraps up the second stream that we had here, and the third one that we have ready for you is technology upgrade, sharing what we have actually done under the hood in Magnolia to make the platform future-proof and stable and resilient. So what we have done, we actually upgraded to Jakarta EE10 to ensure long-term compatibility with modern Java platforms, libraries, and containers, so that you can benefit from the whole ecosystem going forward. In this section, we have two topics for you. So one is about Jakarta EE upgrade, where we are going to just briefly talk about the benefits there. And second one is going to be around how you can upgrade from 6.2 or 6.3 version of Magnolias to Magnolia 6.4. So looking at Jakarta EE upgrade benefits, it's security and performance. So you actually get access to quite a lot of security patches and performance improvements from the modern Java ecosystem that are no longer available with some of the previous versions. Also, of course, you get cost savings at the same time, in case actually that wouldn't happen. And in case your modules would still be using Jakarta EE8, there might be some additional end-of-life support needed. Which now, thanks to upgrade, is not the case anymore. And last but not least, which is more important, you're able to stay on the latest. And that's our ongoing commitment to keep you on the latest, more up-to-date stack as possible. The second topic we will look at as part of this stream is the upgrade strategy. So how you can actually upgrade 6.4 from your Magnolia 6.2 and 3. So first of all, I just mentioned it right now, but the upgrade path, we made it easy to upgrade from both 6.2 and 6.3 to 6.4. We also encourage you to focus on 6.4 because we have really significant improvements when it comes to technology stack, and at the same time, plenty of features. So that's definitely the version that we encourage you to be on going forward. And now you might be asking, how do I perform the upgrades? So how does it look in action? How does it look in practice? And to talk a little bit about that, I would like to welcome on stage my colleague dialing in from Vietnam, Max, who is going to indeed show you exactly how you can go ahead and use even AI to upgrade from 6.2 to 6.4. Hi, Max.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Matt. Nice to
Hey.
meet you all.
Excellent.
Okay, so we give you a quick update. So every single time we have the new 6.4 release, I am the man with then always keeping the corporate website, our website latest with Magnolia releases. And later on, I will show you the demo how to upgrade to Mag 6.4 using AI Power Agent. Cool. Hi, everyone. I will demonstrate how to upgrade your Magnolia project from version 6.2 to 6.4 using AI agent-powered tools. This process involves the three main steps: preparation, execution, and verification. Step one, I will back up the repository for the author, and then I will back up the repository for the public. So we are done with the backup. Now we go back to the setup steps. We will configure the Magnolia backend bundle. And I have the sample Magnolia backend with one custom module and the web app. And here is the Magnolia Live modules, with include some of the app and delivery endpoint definitions and decorations. I have the Magnolia web app running here with the author on port 8080 and the public on port 8081. From the browser on the left-hand side here, I have it running. And let me check the About app. The current version is the latest 6.2 version, 6.266. And this is loading probably now. I also have the custom REST endpoint for the Solar search. And right hand side is the public instance is also running with the multi-site configuration and the pages REST delivery endpoint. Okay, And if you have any custom project information, you can add to the guideline here. And for example, from this custom project, I have the dependencies for H2 to make it compatible with the previous version. I put in the custom guideline here. And if you have production data configurations, you can export them from the configuration workspace and add them here. And step 2, execution. I have the Open Rewrite plugin installed in the POM.xml file. I will trigger the Open Rewrite command first with the -x flag to show the debug logs. And run this command while your project is still on the latest Magnolia 6.2 version and compiling successfully. This ensures the Open Rewrite tool analyzes and updates your code cleanly before you update to Magnolia 6.4 dependencies. Okay, this is done. And now we move to the next part. We have the prompt here asking the AI agent to operate the Magnolia project. And here's the sample prompt. We have the task that will tell the AI agent to follow along to upgrade our Magnolia 6.2 to 6.4. Also the input, where is the Magnolia backend source code and where is the Magnolia Live modules. And the expected output is the updated source code with this Jakarta compatible and also configurations and dependencies upgraded to 6.4 compatible versions. Now I will go back to Cursor. So I'm using Cursor to help us here, but you are free to choose your own AI assisted software development tools like Cloud Code and Windsurf. So this is sample prompt. I already ran the Open Rewrite here, so I will tell it to ignore some steps. Then I trigger it here. As the AI agent systematically transform your code base from Magnolia 6.2 to version 4, it will automatically update dependencies for 6.4 compatibility across all modules. And finally, the agent creates the summary report of the changes it has made to your code base based on the guidelines. And let me check the summary. Okay, so they upgraded to version 6.4 here. And they updated Java version to 17. And another dependencies cleanup with the deprecated hybrid access. Also, some of the external DAM, which was replaced by DAM 6. Now I will run a Maven clean install command again to verify. Then I upgrade version, so all version 10. Okay, so this is done. To run Magnolia 6.4, we have to change to Tomcat 10 for our instances. And then run again. So Magnolia instance is back. So let me check the author first. Super user and super users. Okay, it's back here with the new UI. Let me try with global search. And we have the latest version 6.4 upgraded and installed. Let me check again the public instances. Okay, it's also back as well. And we have the version 6.4 installed as well. So far, let's test again the publishing. We go to the Access app. We unpublish that and also publish again. Okay, cool. Is this working now? So let me check again the custom browse endpoint for solid search. This is also working. I have the multi-site configuration here mapping in the etc host file. So I go back to the public instance. Let me try with Spot Station. Okay, this is working. And then travel demo. This is working properly now. So let me check with pages delivery endpoint. Okay, this is also done. Thank you so much.
Max, thanks a lot. That was actually really, really cool. When I think about
Yeah,
it, you just
thank
managed to
you for that.
update from.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, have to remote Magnolia. Yeah, 6.4.
Nice,
Cool.
nice. I mean, it was done in under 7 minutes, which is like absolutely amazing. So thanks a lot for that. Hey, we will also talk, I will also ask you a couple of questions, but before we jump into those questions, I have a question for the audience. So
Okay.
is your organization planning to upgrade to Magnolia 6.4 in 2026? So we are opening a poll with this question, so we can see it actually a small notification on the right side. So feel free to click the poll link and let us know. Do you actually plan to upgrade to Magnolia 6.4 already in 2026? Excellent. And while you are answering this question for us in the poll, let's jump into a small fireside chat. So I'm going to just interview Max around this upgrade topic. So, hey, Max, you just showed us like it was really cool what you have done right now. So I was just wondering, what do you like most about the new Magnolia 6.4 release?
Oh yeah, there are two things that I like the most about the Magnolia 6.4. The first one would be the new UI in the content app and the global search, Then, well, with the new UI, it brings the beautiful and fresh look to the Magnolia Admin Central compared to the old Vardian content app, right? And then with the global search as well, it makes searching faster to find some piece of content in Admin Central. As a developer like myself, then I usually search for configuration in config workspace to support some customers. And thanks to the global search, it makes me like faster and easier to search the configurations.
Nice, nice. That's very cool. I think the global search was also mentioned yesterday in the offer session as one of the things that is like really bringing a lot of speed. Hey, second question. So you are someone who actually performed the update already, which is, by the way, the first time that
Yes. Yeah.
we already have really an instance updated and ready for when we are releasing a new release. So I'm just wondering. Do you have any additional tips for the audience here, like how to actually proceed with their own updates?
Yeah, I have already deployed to versions 6.3 and 6.4. Then I would suggest that you pay attention to the multi-site and the SSO configurations, and as well as any customization on the Magnolia filter chains, right? Because whenever you deploy to production with those configuration, they will directly impact to your site availability. So that is the first thing. I think you should also need to test your multi-site configuration using the etc host file I shared earlier in the demo from your local machine, and to make sure that the new site and new domains will work perfectly when you deploy it to the production, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that is a really useful tip I think we'll share with you once we deploy the 6.4 the production.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks a lot for that. And last, very quick question. So if somebody would be starting the update now, what kind of piece of advice would you give them?
Yeah, for the first advice, I would like suggest you to go through the 6.2 to 6.4 upgrade documentation page to learn like what the chances were and what was duplicated and what was brought in with Magnolia 6.4. For example, like micro profile and Chakata, for example, and hybrid access was duplicated and down focal was renamed to Ismay focal, for example. And second, you need to recheck your dependencies and any custom code for that it is like duplicating or not, then you have to change it, right? And third, you need to run the open rewrite command first before changing any dependencies or changing Magnolia version. And fourth is that to test it probably on the local environment and verify your business logic on a specific environment instead of deploying to the testing environment, so that you don't mess up with testing environment of the editor. And last but not least, I think you need to have a backup and a rollback plan. For example, like the database and also the previous running Magnolia web app bundle and also the live modules in a separate Git branch. So in the very worst case that you can roll back your data and the web app bundle and also the live modules. So that, yes, that's the advices I can share with you all.
Awesome. Perfect, Max. Thank you so much. Definitely better be safe
No
than sorry.
worries.
Thank you so much for sharing all this feedback. Cool. Well, feel free to stay with me on the stage. I wanted to actually let you know, if you are watching us, Magnolia also offers additional upgrade assistance, meaning that if you go and want to perform Magnolia upgrade from 6.2 or 6.3 to 6.4, you're actually welcome to reach out to us and find out a perfect package for you. So there are two options. Either do you actually do the upgrade itself and we advise, or we do the whole upgrade for you, meaning that these two different packages are available. Feel free to actually reach out to us to get there. It is just an additional assurance to make sure that you can really upgrade to 6.4 anytime you want to. And also to let you know, there is 5% discount if you watch this webinar now. If you reach out to us until December 31, there is a small discount, which is nice. Excellent. That also wraps up the upgrade topic itself. So just a quick recap. So today we jumped into quite a lot of content, quite a lot of streams, quite a lot of features today. It was in 4 main streams in Magnolia 6.4. So Magnolia, strong usability and accessibility release, bringing plenty of AI capabilities, optimized for speed and performance. And in the end, we also showed you how you can even update Magnolia in under 7 minutes from 6.2 to 6.4. Excellent. And well, thank you so much for your questions. I actually see right now that we have really, really many. So we are going to try to answer as many of them right now live on the stage. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna check the questions here. Excellent. And my colleagues, actually Max, Toffer, and Alexander, who were involved in the webinar today, are going to join me here to answer those. So, so the first question that we have here. So, do the content packages contain versions? So, normally, normally they don't. If you, for example, package pages content, it doesn't automatically include your versions as well. What you can do though, you can go to the versions workspace and package those versions separately as well. So in some situations, you might not want to have the versions transferred as well. So that's why there is this kind of additional possibility or flexibility to do that. Excellent. So we are answering that one. Second one is regarding new UR forms, you show tabs and layouts aren't supported yet. Do you have an ETA for tab support? That is a question from Jakob. So, Toffer, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure, Matt. Yep, we shipped 6.4.0 without tabs, but it is absolutely at the top of the list. And I expect that we will be able to ship it with 6.4.1. I'm just going to hazard like a random guess when they'll be available by, and I'm going to say by the end of January. Of course, we'll try to do it as soon as we can, but you know, now with the release out, we'd have a lot of things to attend to, but it's at the top of the list.
Nice, thanks a lot for that. And now I see that I actually missed one of the questions on top. There was the top posted one. So Ben Svas is asking, what is the planned end of life of Magnolia 6.3? And I hope it is not 2026. Indeed. So Toffer, did you want to take that up?
Yeah, I can cover that. I know a lot of you are curious about that one. Active support is indeed September 2026 for 6.3, with the security support going an additional year until September 2027.
Nice. Excellent. So going to the next one, we have Julius asking, does the package manager also work together with the external DAM that we showed before? And can assets be also transferred with package manager? So yes and no, assets can be transferred with package manager as well. So you can package assets, but they have to be JCR assets. So this kind of interaction or just a connection between external DAM and package manager is not yet in place. Package manager operates on the JCR database, meaning that anything that is in JCR, including like configuration workspaces, including workspaces like profiles, can be actually transferred as part of package manager. The cool thing is also that as part of the package, you can define and include content from plenty of workspaces. So using a smart regex, you would be able to package, for example, a couple of pages with their versions and also with assets that would be used on those pages. So all of that is actually possible. Package manager in that regard is quite flexible. All right, so that was from Julius. Next question that we have here on the line is from Marcus. And why is there no chooser for the pages and the path? So, very good question. The chooser will be added in one of the further releases. For now, we left it very flexible so that you can, for example, even use Package Manager to request content from someone in a way. You can go to an instance which doesn't currently contain the content that you need. You can just write it down into the free text field. And once you do, you can just like download the package and send it to someone else to build it for you on a different instance. That's why it's now so flexible and so open, so that you can really just like write anything. You can request any path, even some of them which are not present on your current instance. But indeed, if usually you package stuff that is on the instance, so we'll be also adding the chooser in some of the next releases for Pacman. Nice. Next question is from Ben Spas, and the question is, how will Swift publication work with the workflow? Very good question. I'm glad you asked. So the way Swift publication works with the workflow is that it simply works exactly the same as the original publication. So you have a 4i workflow before. You can use that. You can use the workflow to just like approve the publication process. And once that happens, the publication starts right after, and it either uses the original publication approach, or it uses the Swift publication approach. In both ways, the experience is exactly the same, pretty much. So once that workflow is done and approved, the content gets published via the chosen publication method that you have in your instance. Cool. So that should be it. And we have another question from Jose Carlos, and regarding external binaries and the imaging, is the imaging module compatible? And if so, where are the image variations generated stored? So anyone here wants to take the question? Sounds like
I would say
Max, go ahead.
Image variation will be stored in the imaging workspace, and then the binary itself will be loaded from the S3 if you choose to go with the S3 provider.
Nice, wonderful. Thanks a lot for that, Max. Cool. So the next question we have on the line is from Bernard Burkert, which is what happens if an object in the package links to another object outside of the package? Will this lead to a warning or potentially to a broken link? So once again, very good question. Right now, you can do anything in Package Manager. So you can really package every single part of the website, every single asset, everything, including its links. However, indeed, if it links to a content which is on a different which is on the same instance but is not present on the target instance, you might be ending up with some broken connections. That's why you need to be, what you can do, you can use the dependency dialog to find out those dependencies and include those in the package as well. Right now that has to be done manually, so you actually have to check those dependencies and include that. But in the future, we might think about of improving that. The fact that package manager is very flexible and you can just like do anything on JCR database is just the way it is. All right, we have one question from Sean Mendhaum, which is it possible to orchestrate the package manager functionality by code or externally? Use case would be for regular content refresh from production to non-production environments to maintain a representative content set. So it is definitely possible. Package Manager has plenty of APIs that you can use to just like trigger a build of a package, you can create one package that you have on a system, and then you can trigger automatically via API a build, a download, or even rebuild of a package the way you want. What you then get is resulting zip binary, which you can also download via API call and use it to upload it to a different system to do this kind of regular content sync. So yeah, definitely using APIs, that should be definitely possible to just like bypass plenty of manual steps. And we have plenty of questions about package manager. That's cool. We have next one from Dustin, and the question is, what if the travel page tree is already available? Will it be overwritten or will only the delta be installed? So, a very good question. What Package Manager supports now, there is 3 different merge strategies. One is replace, second one is update. And the last one, I don't know from the top of my head, but it's also like a bit of a combination of the two. So you can choose the strategy. If the content is already present, you can either choose to completely replace that content with the content that you have in the package. But what you can also do is just like choose to merge the content, in which case Package Manager, which uses File Vault behind the scenes, actually applies some smart rules to just like see which nodes are actually present in a package, what is present on the instance itself, and creates like this kind of combination of the two. So there are 3 merge options available, and you can choose the one that is best for your use case. All right. Next question, again about package managers. So we have another question from Benz. So where is the zip stored until it is downloaded? Can it be used in a streaming mode so that the server file system is not filled with huge zip files? Very good question. Right now, what Package Manager does, it stores the zip file in the file system on the instance itself. So it is stored there. But in the future, we also want to make sure that this is configurable. So you can actually store the file on any external system of your like, for example, S3 on Azure or other providers. And one more question once again around Package Manager from Nicolas. Does the content package include assets? So again, very good question. It does. So you can define the package any way you like. And if you, for example, package your pages and you at the same time choose the assets from the assets workspace, from them workspace to be included as well, that is going to work. If you, for example, have a folder, or for example, you have a microsite where you have a couple of pages and at the same time you have all those assets under a similar folder in them, you can actually package both of these together in a single package. And in that case, if the content is kept in the package, even the links between the two are going to be kept. So obviously the pages are going to keep all the links to assets and vice versa. All right, we still have, wow, I'm just scrolling through the list. We have plenty of questions actually to go. We will probably not have time to go through all of them right now here on the stage. Well, thank you so much for so many questions. It's absolutely amazing. I would close the Q&A now, just for the sake of time, because we are already overrunning a little bit. But we will be getting back to you with answers to your questions after the webinar, once we are finished here. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for being with us today. And on behalf of all of us who are here on the stage right now, We would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoy your journey with Magnolia 6.4. Thank you.